Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to another great video. Today's topic is how to get better ratings, how to get more bookings, how to enjoy each lesson a lot more, and of course, how to get that student to come back again and again and again with you. So, the number one thing, I'm going back to my third grade teacher. Some people who are watching this video might have previously been teachers or trained to be teachers, but I'm going to say it anyway. Show and tell. So the oldest trick in the book. The reason why I like to use show and tell, and I use this thumbnail, is because today was the first time in a long time that I had a student play a musical instrument. He played the saxophone, and he did a really, really good job. So first of all, you have to understand that every student is different, every mom and dad is different. Some mom and dads love the idea of bringing something from their room, like a toy, a book, their English homework, or piano. A lot of my students have piano in their own home. Some parents like that idea, and some see it as a total waste of time, and they should only be focusing on the lesson 100%, page by page. So as I'm telling you both sides of the equation here, so that way you won't get a surprise when you try to ask for it or try to do it. What I do, someone asked me a great question, is when I'm writing the feedback reports after my lesson's finished at the end of the night, typically, they ask me if I could share how I write my feedback reports. So that way the mom and dad can check it, the student can check it, and that way it's checked off for Palfish administration, and then you get your pay. Okay, pretty basic. So on my feedbacks, I always try to remember and ask one question. What was your favorite class from school? And in that section, I'll ask them, hey, next time bring something from your room and tell me why you like it in the next lesson. So yes, tell them something that they did really great on, like pronunciation or their reading skills, and wow, you sound so much more confident. And then again, at the same time, put a challenge to them. And a lot of my students will sometimes, I switch it up about every month. But when I ask them directly, send a voice message, one full complete sentence, what your favorite class was today. And I'll put that on the feedback report. Some of them may not check it seriously. Some do check it and they think, wow, it's too much English, even though they can translate it. And some are so busy with their own schedules, with their school schedule, keeping up with what their son and daughter's doing, they may not have time to answer those questions, and it may never even come to surface ever. I would probably say right now 30%, 40%, which is pretty high, but within 30 to 40% of my students never answer the questions and never bring something from their room to do the show and tell. But lately I've been getting some good luck. Perhaps it's because of the persistence of always asking the question in the feedback and asking them, encouraging them to bring something for the next lesson. And you can say that the last 5 minutes when you're kind of wrapping up and doing the review. That's a great chance, especially, you don't have to say, hey, mom and dad, come here, listen. I used to do that, and sometimes they like it, and sometimes they don't. A lot of parents don't want to be on camera. So you'll know if one of the parents is sitting by the child, or if their English is intermediate or advanced enough, maybe mom and dad are not there in the room with them, and they perhaps will understand what you're trying to say to them. So I'll say, hey, get something from your room. It could be, a book, as I've mentioned. It could be your favorite toy. It could be a picture. A lot of the kids, they love going on their photo library, and you can send a picture, of course, on the front as a slide where both of you guys can see. But there's also a message box. So if you could send a funny emoji. Some of them have no idea where the message box is. And then some of my students will write something in Chinese, then I can just click, translate it, and we kind of go back and forth sometimes like that in the lesson. if we're having a little bit of trouble, or just to try to make them laugh, and I'll send a funny emoji or something to kind of like, you know, spice it back up. So I think I just touched on the two main things right now. How to become a better teacher. That's what it's really about. It's how to become a better online instructor. And you know, when a student does something like that, this is a very special case with this one young boy. Well, he's not so young now. He's getting 11, 12 age group, so he's growing up fast. He played the saxophone probably like 8 or 10 minutes in the lesson. Now that's a long time. Some parents might not be happy after the lesson and then complain. So again, you have to take full responsibility for what you're doing with those minutes in the lesson, and be prepared to, you know, take the consequences, good or bad. And that's just a part of the learning process. That's the online teaching learning process. So with all that said, if you do guys have any more questions about some things that I've mentioned here, and I'll go in more depth about my feedback reports. I'm going to show you guys some of my templates and some of my tips that I use. But I kind of just told you guys right now what I like to do. And that's a huge part with my feedback reports. And, you know, again, as I've mentioned, only